You've dreamed of building a family, but the journey hasn't been easy. I'm Dr. Laura Shaheen, a reproductive endocrinologist helping people build families every day. On our new podcast, Baby or Bust, we'll be learning from both reproductive experts and people who have faced challenges just like yours. Join us every week for Baby or Bust, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Make sure to follow us so you never miss an episode.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting your cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com right now for free screening resources and recommendations from the American Cancer Society. Don't wait. Early detection can save your life. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com today. Cancerscreeninfo.com.
Damn. So what was the first instance that set up a red flag, or did you even notice the red flag?
I noticed the red flag. The red flag, though, I feel like I didn't want to see it because it was something that I shared in common with him. Because both of us we're introverts. We stay in all the time. We don't really have interactions in real life. And even now, we're shut-ins and we just don't leave the house. We're gamers.
It is time now for something positive.
We might be headed to the promised land.
Speaking the truth and finding our external liberty once we internally liberate ourselves.
The problem can only be solved when there is a kind of coalition of conscience.
Because that is how it works. This is the beginning. It is not the finale. And that's why we're here. And that's why we rally.
We've got to be that creative minority.
Find a way to get in the way. I got in trouble. It was good trouble. It was necessary trouble.
Frankly, I know we've got to do something.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Public Access America / Adam Has a Beard. We're here with Autonomous Angel. I'm just going to call her Luna. And then at the end of the show, if she agrees to let her Twitter account out in the public, we can do that. But I don't use last names generally just to protect people. You know, you're gonna be talking about some personal things, and I don't want some guy in Egypt saying, "Hey, come and be a princess." You know what I mean?
I don't want to have to fly over to where you're at. Oh, girl, slow down. I don't want to have to fly over to Egypt and whoop somebody's ass because they talk shit to my friend here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hell no.
So we met on Twitter last night, and you said you wanted to get some attention before your trial starts, before everything happens, and I was like, tell me more, and you did.
I did.
So I copy and pasted that note, but Adam here, for everybody listening, doesn't actually know the entire story. So I'm just gonna, you said it started about 8 years ago, and I'm just gonna let you go, and we will break in to ask you questions from time to time.
Now,
sure.
Now I will try to be polite, raise my hand, because the way I function, the way I function is I hear something and it triggers something, and then I need to expand on that. I want to know more about you,
right?
And like Jason said, I know zero about you. All I know is that we're going to have a guest, and it's going to be a good time, and it's going to be informative, and we're trying to help our ladies, you know, to be more understand in this realm of whatever it is that we're going to be doing. So. Don't be offended if I interrupt you and raise my hand and say, hey, I got a question about. Okay.
Oh, no problem. But also I can only see one picture at a time. So if I don't immediately stop, it's because I haven't seen you.
That's fine.
No worries. Maybe I'll make some noise. Go right ahead, man. It's good to meet you, by the way.
It's good to meet you too. And I'm sorry. I know you guys said your name. I know Jason, but what was your name again?
My name is Adam.
Okay, Jason and Adam. All right. So I would love to start by saying how me and my partner met. We met about 8 years ago, and we actually knew each other before that. He was on an online forum that I like to write on, And he had a crush on me, but I was like, I'm 2 years older than him. So at the time he was a minor. So I didn't pay any attention to him at all. And then I had gone on some pretty hard times. I had just moved into my first apartment alone and ended up getting sexually assaulted by a neighbor. It actually, it messed up my relationship. It messed up pretty much everything, my mental health, that I couldn't work anymore. And that's when we really started getting closer, because I would vent to him and tell him my feelings. And eventually I got to a point where I couldn't stay with my dad. So we started talking about meeting together, and he told me he had feelings for me. And then, this was like a year and a half or 2 years after we were talking. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go on a leap of faith because I really like you and I don't have anywhere else to go. I didn't have much family, and my family is not really, they're not well off. So there wasn't really room for me or anything. So I went down, and it was about 2.5 to 3 hours from where I lived. And it started off great. We hit it off. We were living together. I mean, I would never recommend anybody living with somebody they just met, let alone. I would even if like you're dating somebody, like don't just jump in and move in with them. But I really didn't have a choice. So
you just described every relationship I've ever had.
Well, hell, now that concludes the podcast.
And I'm single, so that should tell everybody that I agree. Yeah. I want to let people know, I don't think a lot of people understand that we don't have the family safety net that America says is there. A lot of us we're on our own, and the only support we have are the family that we make, not the ones that we're born to. So
right.
It's something that people don't understand, that you just like went by like that's normal. Because
people will ask me, don't you have family to stay with? And I tell them no, and they feel bad for me, but it's like, it's not that I don't have anyone in my life. I just don't have anyone with the resources to take care of me, and I never have. Right. Even my dad, he wanted to take care of me, but he had his own issues, and I didn't want to put it on him because he only lived off of disability. And the VA gave him money too every month, and he could barely take care of himself. So I didn't want to put that on him.
Yeah, it's generational.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. So basically,
so you moved in with this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you moved in. Let's hear what happened. I mean, obviously it started off real nice.
Yes.
Started off kind of tender, kind of like, really relaxing. Everybody was cool. You were cool with him. He was cool with you.
Yeah.
I'll do anything for you. You knew.
Right.
He's been crushing on you for like 2 years. He's finally legal, and you're like,
Yeah, he grew himself a beard and everything, and I was like, ooh, you look kind of nice.
Right. Oh, damn. So what was the first instance that set up a red flag, or did you even notice the red flag?
I noticed the red flag. The red flag, though, I feel like I didn't want to see it because it was something that I shared in common with him, because both of us we're introverts. We stay in all the time. We don't really have interactions in real life. And even now we're shut-ins, and we just don't leave the house. We're gamers. Right. So the red flag was the fact that he didn't really seem to understand my emotions, and I didn't understand where he was coming from either. And neither one of us knew how to communicate. So I would get mad at him. He didn't start arguing with me. It took him years to start arguing with me.
Oh, no.
That I bet. I'm not arguing with you, that's for sure.
Hey, I'm not scary. I'm not as scary as long as you make me happy. I'm good.
Oh, dang.
You earn your respect. That's all.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's how it is, especially when you're young. Sometimes you just spit things out that they don't come out right, and you don't have somebody there that's practiced enough and saying, "Tell me again."
Exactly. Because
so let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. So let's just start at that instance right there. Do you think? How do I want to put it without? Fuck it. You know what? Do you think you could have done something differently other than argue? I mean, do you think that you could have and now this is from a mental health perspective and a spiritual, I mean, a perspective for me, not necessarily as a female male, or it's just a general question.
Yeah.
How do you think you could have handled it better?
It's hard. Sometimes you just find yourself in them,
in that moment, right?
Well, honestly, after I noticed a pattern, I should have changed. That's definitely harder than it sounds.
100% agree.
Yeah, when you want to win
recognize
when you want to make your point, you just want somebody to understand your point, and you get louder and louder until they just say no or they get it. So I understand just wanting to be heard for one little thing. There's a lot of ways to go about it, but when you're in your first relationship in your early 20s, I'm going to say that's hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, because you're both essentially babies. You're still growing. You know what I mean? And so you recognizing it now, I think it's a big thing.
Yes.
But by no means am I saying, well, you should have, or you
never can.
No, you can never say that.
It's so easy to have hindsight. Hindsight is the easiest thing, easiest skill to have is seeing what you did wrong and learning from it. But it's more hard to have the foresight to predict, hey, if I say this or if I do this, this is going to set them off. So I think that's where a lot of people have issues, is like remembering those patterns and then applying it to the future, basically.
Yeah. And then trying to not apply those in the future when you meet somebody else and they do something and you're like, oh, I don't like that.
It's big. You get triggered. I mean, from any kind of relationship like that, you're triggered. I mean, permanently triggered. Was he triggering you from earlier things in family or something?
Oh,
yes. Is it just something? Did he know which buttons to push to just make you just go a little nuts?
Yes, but I also know what buttons to push on him. So it's fair. It's fair. I don't want anybody to ever think that he's a bad person. And I want to say that earlier, he is someone who needs to learn how to live life like I do. We've both spent our entire 20s together. Right. So it's time for us both to learn how to be adults alone. That's it.
For sure.
Okay. So this instance happens. This goes down, and you guys, this is, I'll consider it the first stage where the big breakdown happened.
Yeah, you haven't even brought up babies yet.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the first stage. Now let's go into the second stage. You're going on for a little bit, and first baby comes. What happens after that? I mean, what happens up to that point? I mean, is it nice?
My mental health happened. My mental health got so bad after my first baby.
Let's give her the space to tell about that.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'll just be quiet.
He was born. Well, first of all, let me say I'm a diabetic. So when I got pregnant, I was high risk. My blood sugar was in control. I was doing everything the doctors told me. I went to the doctor like 2 to 3 times a week. And I still ended up having complications. He was born with basically meconium in his lungs because I don't know if it was my diabetes. I don't know if it was him, but he had his first bowel movement. I didn't feel him inside. I was scared. I went to the hospital. It was pretty traumatic, emergency C-section, all the 9 yards. And then they had to take him from where I lived to another city an hour away to get the treatment he needed. So that's how my first baby went. And that's why my depression got so bad, my postpartum depression. Yes. And I had recognized that at the hospital and asked for help.
That's good. Good that you did. That's really good. Yeah, that's really strong.
I'm curious as how they treated you. Did they treat you fairly? There's a lot of reports that Black women get treated like less than in a hospital. So I'm just wondering.
They didn't listen to me. I knew something was wrong a week before. And I told them, I was like, he's not moving. On my stress test, because they do stress tests every 2 weeks. They had to give me water every single time that week to get him to move. And I'm like, there's something wrong. He should be moving on his own. I can tell. And they didn't listen. They were like, you're too soon. We're not gonna do a C-section. You're too soon. And I'm like, but I know something is wrong, and something ended up being wrong.
And they just dismissed it.
That's horrible.
Yeah. They treated me better in my second pregnancy, but I went to another gynecologist. And the team there that delivered my baby, because the complication was with me the second time, and they all were wonderful. The nurses were wonderful. The doctors were wonderful. They had to put me to sleep because they couldn't get the epidural in, because I guess I had spine issues or something. I was scared. This was during the pandemic. I had nobody to visit me. I was literally by myself. They were amazing. So my second experience was better.
Okay. What did you do with the postpartum from your first one, though?
Yes. So basically, I was doing counseling, and I was on medication for a little bit, but I didn't really like the medication, so I stuck with counseling for about a year. And I also had Healthy Families come out every week or every month or something like that. They came out, taught me some coping skills, taught me some parenting skills. So everything that they offered, the services they offer, I accepted because I was scared. I was overwhelmed. So I knew I needed help. I wasn't going to be prideful about it.
Yeah, no.
But the fact that you didn't take the medication is a strong move, sister. Let me tell you.
Adam is totally anti-medication for long-term things. Yeah.
And the fact that you didn't, I mean, wow. I mean, I respect that 100%. I mean, damn, too many things are masked by medication, and I believe that was really strong. And I feel for you. You know what I mean? I really, really do. That's just amazing, though.
Yeah, I'm very, I would say that a lot of people who describe me would describe me as strong, because even in the face of adversity, I never wanted people to worry about me. So it's definitely a me thing. I know that it can be pride sometimes. So I try to watch, how long I go without asking for help or whatever. But this time I went entirely too long. So
some people get mad at you because you're not letting them help you in little ways. I noticed that for me because of my disability. I don't like people helping me, and they get upset with me. Like, I was just going to help you cross the street. I'm like, I can do that. And then they think I'm a jerk when really it's just, more a pride thing. Like, I can do that. Like, help me where I need it, not where I don't,
Exactly.
So,
and for me, I don't mind physical help, but like when someone is telling me things that I already know, I tend to be like 2 or 5 steps ahead of people. So they're trying to give me advice that I've already thought of like months ago. And that really annoys me. And I don't want to be annoyed. I don't want to be annoyed with anyone trying to help me. But to me, I feel like they're not understanding how intelligent I am. So that's where the pride comes in.
How could they understand? You know what I mean? Even if you told them everything, they would have to be somebody that's known you your whole life to understand you,
Yeah. And even my own mother even sometimes doesn't realize that she's telling me things that I already know. And I know she was worried about me for a long time because I had these mental illnesses that I wasn't treating. So she babied me a lot, but I'm showing her now, especially in this situation, that I'm an adult and I can do things.
That's real strong. You have to, exactly. That's super strong, lady. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, I don't think any of us grew up with parents that like did the right thing when we were kids. They kind of put it off. Mine put it off. Like, you'll take care of that when you're an adult. I had one pair of shoes my entire teenage life. My mom was like, you can get more when you get a job. It's like, damn.
With mine, it was the dental. I had so many cavities as a kid, and now my teeth are so messed up. It's so bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
So compounding sexual assault, you had postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Then the pandemic on top of that, which was, I believe, was so defeating to not only, I think I can speak for all three of us when I say it was defeating for all of us.
Especially when you're two introverts, like with a new baby and a new relationship and a new apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you leave the seat up? Yes, I did. Did you eat the last chicken? Yes.
And then not to mention, it was like downsizing when I got my new apartment. I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse before I lost my job. And so I'm moving. I mean, I was happy for anything because I was homeless living in my car, but it's like moving into a shoebox when you have, you go into an apartment with a 2-1 and then you've got 4 people living there. And
Mhm.
two of them are kids, but they're kids, so they want to run around and they're just in your stuff all the time. You know, it's like there's no getting away from it, because I spend a lot of my time in my room, and the only place I can walk to is the living room. And and then that's all I see every single day is my partner in front of his game with the two kids just trashing everything, and it's stressful.
It is stressful. Holy shit.
That's life. Sorry about that. But maybe it is
horrible.
I'm sitting there listening, going, maybe it isn't depression. Maybe it's just reality. You know,
like it's a combination of both.
I think there's nothing wrong with me. It's just the world.
Right. Man, life sucks. We're just acknowledging it. Sorry, we're not pumped about it today, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
how did dude handle the kids?
Yeah.
Oh, he is from a family of like 8 kids.
Oh, damn.
Like, this dude had it. He knew more than me at first. He was doing all the diaper changes. He was doing everything. He was staying up with them, because when I had the depression, I couldn't not sleep, because it made my mental illness way worse. So he did a lot with the kids, especially for being a first-time father. So I can definitely applaud him for that.
All right. I like that. And the pandemic hit, and you guys are just hanging out, getting on each other's nerves, but nothing real serious yet?
No. I wouldn't say this would be like something that this incident didn't make me hate him. This incident isn't going to affect our relationship. It's going to play out just like it would have played out if I had left on my own, you know, because I was planning on leaving when our lease was up in May. So I was close. I made it close to the point where I was trying to leave. But even then, I didn't have a plan. I still don't know where I'm going to live after this lease is up.
Right. All right. So let's get into what actually happened. Let's get into where it sounds like you have a beautiful relationship, though. You know what I mean? Like you got a good guy. It's not like you made the wrong decision and picked the villain.
No. Like I said, it's not him. It's us. Personally, we are very similar, but that can be bad during arguments. So,
right.
Let me just go ahead and tell you. Do you want me to go ahead and tell you what happened on Monday?
Yeah, if that's where you want to pick it up from, let's do that. Yeah.
So, basically, it was 6:00 in the morning. I heard my daughter. I heard the TV, the games, and all that stuff. I woke up. I wasn't feeling good. I had a stomach ache that I had a day prior. And I figured I just ate too many jalapeno cheese balls that I can't have because I'm a diabetic. So I wasn't really thinking about it, but I went out and I was just kind of like cranky, just muttering under my breath, you know, just, I wasn't trying to fight, but I just decided that to just at that moment tell him, hey, you know, I'm going to just let you know right now, I'm not smoking my cigarettes. So I'm really, really like annoyed. I'm also having a stomach ache. I have a toothache. And then I proceeded to tell him, we need to talk about our son. And it was all just about the times they were going to bed, or the time he was going to bed. Even my daughter, I was saying that they were going to bed too late because he was up with them too late. And then I was telling him that I wanted the video games to stop. And not
you were cranky.
Yeah, I was. But you
went after the video games. You know what I mean?
That's like been an issue since our relationship. That was actually the other red flag.
Of course it is.
Yeah. The other red flag was that he's always been on the game for the whole time we've been together. He's been on that game every single day on different games. He just finds games. That's just what he does. But
and now the kids are staying up late watching him, and it's just
exactly. My son loves the game, so my son wants to stay up with him.
Yeah.
So I was expecting. Go ahead.
So does he make money at these games? I mean, is he on Twitch? Is he?
I'm so
not
mad.
A streamer.
I'm so mad that he's not a streamer, because I tell him all the time, stream the games. You're good at the games, and I would love to stream with you. We could have made it into something, and we could have made money off of it.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But like,
that's the only acceptable thing to be gaming and be doing it for so long. It's like, if you're going to be twitching or you're going to be streaming, dude, that's how you make some money.
Yeah.
If you're just gonna be an asshole and just play games all the time because you think you can, and you're
it's a
the man of the house.
It's a pandemic. You're bored. You got nothing else to do.
No. This went on 5 years before the pandemic.
But I want to say to all the guys out there is a good reason to play video games, and it's so when your woman comes home, you can drop that remote and go, I want you. You know what I mean?
That's not how it works. Let me just tell you that right now.
I'm a gamer too, and that's not how it works. I'd be ignoring people.
Yeah. I like, so like for me, you know, obviously I'm very strange. I'm very odd. Something's wrong with me. I don't know. But like during the pandemic, we tore our house apart. I was into music. I started 3 bands. I occasionally looked at the comic books, or I occasionally played the game, or I was out in the garden. I was balls deep in that for, I don't know, trying to do all sorts of shit and, you know, make my garden happen. Yeah. But there comes a point in a man's life, or I'm going to just say that, in a man's life, when you're like, you know what, I got to put this goddamn controller down and I got to make something about my family.
That's right.
Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. And so maybe I'm weird, but I think that should happen.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It does, and it will happen to him. And this situation might actually be that trigger he needs. But a lot of men need that trigger. A lot of men, I feel like, have issues with finding that time in their lives because they don't have the fathers.
Right.
Agreed. 100%. You hit that nail right on the goddamn head.
How do you know what a good relationship is when you never saw one to begin with, right?
Yeah.
100%, Jason. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday, you went after everything and the video game.
And the video games. Especially the video games.
Can I say your mood like his, it was valid at the time. You know what? You woke up crabby. 100%. You told your partner about it. It's not like you should ever bury that stuff and put on an act. So good on you for addressing it. I mean, I don't know the tone. I don't know the words. I don't know.
The tone could have been bad. I won't say that I was being polite that day. I wasn't. Right. I know I was cranky.
Nobody's telling you you had to be. I'm just saying that, you know, there's his triggers and your triggers, and you might have triggered something in your
I really feel like that's what happened. Because the next thing he said was so hurtful. So these are like gaps in my memory, because when we argue, it's always the same argument. Mm-hmm. So I don't really remember a lot of the stuff, the back and forth, but I do remember what triggered me, which he had told me that my kids were going to grow up to not like me, and that I was never going to be happy. And I guess he thought that I was like some authoritarian or something, because why else would you tell somebody that who's just concerned about their kids playing games too much?
Right.
But it was the trigger because I didn't have the best relationship with my parents. And my dad died, last year. So like family at all, if you talk about it around me and you make me feel a certain way, that's just going to bring me back to really just bad memories, bad times in my life. And that's what happened. And I did something wrong. I started screaming at him and for basically hurting me. And I was trying to hurt him. And that it's something that I've been working on for years, and it still happens when I get triggered. And it's so frustrating because it's like you're taking 2 steps forward, or sorry, 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
nobody can control what they do and say when they're at a 10. Nobody, and it's just how fast you get there and how fast you run away from the situation when you feel a 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't do that in a pandemic with your kids and an apartment. So that kind of messes you up. And it sounded like when he was like, "You'll never be happy," I feel like he was saying it to himself. Like,
100%,
oh my God, am I ever going to be happy in this? You know what I mean? But he just said it to you, and shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half the time, look, half the time when a man says some bullshit, it's 100% about himself.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I did not see. Have I walked those shoes? Oh shit, yeah.
Right.
Do I have any fear? Nope. I've done it. I've said it. And have I made an ass of myself? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
100% of the time.
Everybody makes an ass of themselves once in a while.
Right. You got to stick. You got to stick with somebody to find out what comes after that, though. Because I've gone up to my late wife and I was like, "I hate this," and she was like, "Well, stop. Say it again." And I'd be like, "I just don't really like it." And say it again. I'm having a real issue with your parents. Okay, now I understand, and we could go forward. But at first it was always like
you're at a 10, exactly. It should brought you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, and every relationship is like that, man. You got to have that, find that balance. I mean, it's like but if you get triggered, instead of, I think that guys don't really understand the fact that if you triggered your lady, how do you de-escalate the situation? Do you attack her parents? No, it's not that. It's not. You don't go personal. You don't go for the jugular. I mean, I don't even know how else to go from there. I don't know what else to say. You don't go for the jugular, though. I mean,
it all depends on what your woman likes. Some like to leave the situation. Some want you to leave the situation. Some want you to follow them around while they complain about what you did for the next hour. So every woman is different, and if that's not the woman for you, then you
all three I've done.
You've dreamed of building a family, but the journey hasn't been easy. I'm Dr. Laura Shaheen, a reproductive endocrinologist helping people build families every day. On our new podcast, Baby or Bust, we'll be learning from both reproductive experts and people who have faced challenges just like yours. Join us every week for Baby or Bust, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Make sure to follow us so you never miss an episode.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting your cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com right now for free screening resources and recommendations from the American Cancer Society. Don't wait. Early detection can save your life. Go to cancerscreeninfo.com today. Cancerscreeninfo.com.
But it's hard, you know what I mean? Especially pandemic situation. I mean, everybody's on everybody's last nerves. I mean, I was fortunate. I was very fortunate because I have meditation. I have, centering. I know how to, maybe a microdose or two. Not saying that has not happened, but I've mellowed myself out, and it's an understanding. But it's not something that happened overnight.
Right.
It's a matter of will, a matter of want, a matter of practice, a matter of having good friends like Jason, who was like, you got to get out of that shell. Let's do something different. Let's make you uncomfortable and figure that out. And so it is right to correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, you pulled me out of this hole where I was like, oh shit, man, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for a guy to like practice and exercise that with his lady, like, oh, I'm sorry, I triggered you. How about this? I'm gonna take a deep breath, but I'm gonna listen, and I'm gonna figure this out. We'll figure this out together. That's what it should have actually happened instead of going for your jugular. I mean, if I'm wrong and I'm full of shit, say you're wrong. Just say
you're right. You're right. No, that's what the ideal situation. You always want to
should be.
Yes. You should always want to solve issues with your partner. But I think the issue was that he doesn't know how to problem solve. Right. So it comes to me looking like I'm expecting too much, or it looks like I'm trying to belittle him for not knowing something or how to do something, because every time I would complain about him not doing something that I felt like he needed to do, like maintain a job and, go out and take the kids out more than instead of just sitting inside the house. It's like he doesn't know how, or he'll tell me like, how do I get a job? Or not that he doesn't know how to get a job, but he's had issues with it. It's so hard to find a job for him, especially because he's a Black male. Right. So I know that he has struggles that I don't. I know Black females have an easier time not appearing threatening. So I don't want to make him feel like he's doing something wrong. But at the same time, how do I go and ask him, or how do I go and tell him, hey, me working all this time it's so hard for me to work in the beginning at all because I have so many issues. How do I tell him without making him feel like he's failing as a man that he needs to do better? It's like
there's no way. There's no way you can do it.
There's no way a woman could say it that a friend could say it to him, but like his woman, I don't. After a
right.
big meal and a night of sex, I don't know.
That's not gonna do it.
Turn on Star Wars and be like, "Baby, you need to get a job when this movie's over." You know?
Yeah, look, motherfucker, get a job. No, it's hard. It's the most difficult conversation. If that guy's not ready to grow up, well, look, you done fucked up. Okay, that's how it is. Bottom line. He's not ready to grow up.
No, it's sometimes we want a mom because we never had a mom. So we're just looking for somebody to be the mom. But then you got a child for 18 years. You know what I mean?
And then another child on top of that child. And you have another child with that child. Yeah. So it's an uphill battle for you. And I feel I feel for you. You know,
so
we both.
He was yelling at you and you went in, you tried getting away from him. You're right. You went in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, no. First, I went into my room because this is my sanctuary. This is right. I don't want to show it to you because I didn't have time to clean it. No. But this is my territory that I spend my life working in here. I take care of my kids in here. I eat in here. I watch TV in here. I raise all my baby plants in here. And this is where my safe space is. So he followed me and he was still trying to argue with me. I'm already at the 10, so I can't even tell him to leave me alone properly.
Right.
I'm just screaming at the top of my lungs, screaming obscenities, telling him to get away. And I'm also holding my kid because this is important. I'm holding my 1-year-old girl who was basically half asleep while this is happening. So the argument started with me taking her and holding her. So I went into my room, closed the door. I have no lock on my door. I'm telling him to leave me alone. I don't want to hear him anymore. I don't want to hear anything he has to say. When I have the hindsight to look back at my memories of this situation, I felt like he was trying to push down the door, but it could have been my PTSD thinking he was pushing against the wall or the door, because I've had that happen where I've had to keep somebody out. So I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him. We haven't talked since this happened. So I don't even know all the details because I wasn't mentally right. So I couldn't remember a lot of stuff. And
is there a restraining order?
No, the judge didn't put a no contact order because I told him, I said, this is my place. I can't, because if you get a no contact order, they kick you out of the residence of the victim. And right. I had to ask the judge specifically. I was like, I work from home. I can't, if I lose my job, then my whole family is on the street. So he didn't put a no contact order. And then he also said that when looking at the police report, the self-defense charges could have gone either way. If I was the one with a tiny scratch on me, then he would have gone to jail.
Yeah, you jumped a major part of the story.
Yeah, let's go back because I feel like we're missing.
So sorry.
No.
No.
He asked the question that I knew he was going to ask. Yeah, I was just going to say, like when he was like an order of protection, I was like, you don't even know who that'd be on yet.
Yeah, I sure as shit no. So let's go back. So you don't recollect if he was pushing down the door or not because of PTSD.
Well, whatever it is.
By the way,
you were triggered. You're at a 10.
At the door screaming at me.
And it's a pre-existing thing that you can be overwhelmed, and that's why you have a safe space to begin with. I'm guessing the same reason 100%. He plays video games is because he needs a place to get away to. So
right,
yeah. So pick up from right there. You don't know if he was pounding on that door or not.
Right. I don't know, but I do know I'm telling him to leave me alone. So he's screaming at me through the door. I'm screaming at him to go away. I didn't want to stand at the door the whole time, so I'm moving away from the door, and then the door automatically pops open, and I push it back. I say, no, don't come in here. He gets even more upset, and I'm just still standing there until I, again, walk away from the door. He pushes the door, and at that point, I'm mad because I closed the door already. I told you over the last 60 seconds to leave me alone. And the escalation, and it maybe I wasn't even at the 10 at that time, but I just know that was when I started getting to the point where I couldn't really I put my daughter down. I'll put it that way. I put her down.
Is blackout pissed. So
yes, I didn't want to get to the point where I blacked out.
Right.
So that's why I put her down.
But he invaded your safe space. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So actually, no, I got that wrong. I pushed him first and then put her down.
Gotcha.
Oh, shit.
Try pushing him out, right?
Also, I'm 6 foot tall. I'm 6'2". Sorry, I'm 6'2".
Girl, get some.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, she's a professional wrestler in Japan as well.
Oh my goodness, shit! I am 5'2" with heels. Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry. Anyway,
okay.
so you're
He's in your room. You pushed him. You put the kid down.
Mm-hmm.
I pushed him though.
Yeah, I did push him. I put my hands on him. I will say that.
Mhm.
I will say because I felt at the time, if I'm telling
Mm.
you and screaming at you for over 2 minutes to leave me alone, and you're forcing the door open, just the door popped open, shoved open. That's why I say he's pushing at the door. But I don't know if he started pushing before or after. So I basically pushed him and I scratched his neck. I don't know if I left a mark. I never got to see it. But basically he said I choked him because the way my hand was, I did scratch him. So when I realized I put my hands on him, put the baby down, run to the kitchen, leave me alone, leave me alone. I don't want to hear anything. He might have already known that at that point he messed up, because once I start, that's it. You can't do anything after that.
Agreed. That's why when a woman says leave me alone, you leave her alone.
You fucking leave her alone. You don't ever follow. You don't.
The same thing.
Pursue.
The same thing when a man says leave me alone and walks out the door. Don't follow him. It's
right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And there's been times where I was guilty of the same thing, but also he doesn't have the mental illnesses that I do. So I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that there's less of a danger of me doing that to him than him doing that to me. And I'm going to say this, even though I'm tall, I don't have a lot of strength, especially being sick. So that's the other reason why I pushed him, because even if I had just tried to gently move aside him, I can't do anything to him. Sometimes he can hold me in the corner. He's very strong, even though he's very tiny. He's like 110 pounds. So he doesn't look like he can fight me, but he can. He can actually win.
He's only 2 inches shorter than you, though, right?
It's like 4 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's but he's not small, but he's skinny. Mm-hmm. So I'm feeling like at this point, somebody's chasing me. I'm feeling like somebody's trying to kill me, go after me, whatever. Yeah. I'm going for the knife because he's not leaving me alone. He grabs me. I'm realizing that this is dangerous. I've got a knife in my hand. Somebody's going to get cut. In that moment of clarity, I put the knife down and he took it, and I don't know what he did with it afterwards. He took it. I'm going for my phone. I'm calling the police. I'm like, I just want it to stop. That is what I remember saying. I just want this to stop. And I knew there was a knife involved. I knew that this was going to look bad on me, but I didn't care. I just wanted it to stop.
Holy fuck. I mean, I'm like sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it's
really, I am.
People end up in these situations, but you did the right thing. You put the knife down and you called for help.
Mm-hmm. And
God damn.
Yeah. And honestly, it was really just me remembering all the times I've ever been sexually assaulted, because it happened more than once.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more than once. It's a cycle.
Okay. So I'm getting a big picture. I don't mean to interrupt you. And forgive me for interrupting you. Let me ask you this. Have you gone to counseling for your PTSD for your sexual assault? You don't have to get into that whole situation.
I'm gonna get into it. It has to be gotten into. I have so many things that have happened to me that there is no way I can individually treat things in a short amount of time. So no, I didn't even realize how bad my PTSD was, because I didn't listen to myself for a long time. It's very easy for neurodivergent people to not listen to their body signs that they have. And I have really big ones, because when my heart starts racing, my feet get itchy. I break out in hives and stuff when I get like that. And even still, it took me a long time to recognize all those symptoms. And I never talked to a therapist, never thought about it, because I'm trying to treat my depression. I'm trying to treat all the childhood stuff that I went through with my parents, because I was an abusive, household, like a lot of people, because people were taught, especially in the South, people were taught that you hit your children.
Right.
My parents were the last generation where that was really acceptable.
Right.
Wait, question. Your parents Mexican?
No.
Oh, because I feel like that's what happened to me. To be honest. Oh, shit. All right. Okay. So,
and that's what you guys fell back on when it came to critical time. You went back to your experiences of this is how
that's all we had.
This is how other people argue. This is how we do too.
Yeah.
But I want to know, when are you treating all this when you're trying to take care of 2 kids in a pandemic with a job?
There's no
with
way.
a work from home job and no child care.
Right. I mean, I'm guessing you don't have the best insurance, if any, in the world when you do have a job.
It's literally the worst thing you can have as an adult.
And that's what I'm trying to get, because we wanted people to understand that this is happening
all over
to hundreds of thousands of people per state every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really appreciate you being here to
tell your side of the story. Yeah. One, I thank you for having me too. And
we're still gonna go. I just wanted to let her
know. Good, because I need to ask. I got a shit ton more questions. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh yeah, we got plenty more time. I really appreciate you being here for this, because this is what I wanted. I've always wanted people to hear this stuff.
I appreciate the opportunity, because this is really the first time I've gotten a chance to tell my story to somebody who just wanted to know it. And not because I had to tell a therapist, or not because I'm Baker acted, or not because I'm trying to get somebody to love me and accept my flaws. Because a lot of the things that I tell people, when I tell them, I'm trying to get them to understand me, because just all of that trauma over the last 30 years has shaped me into who I am. And for a long time, I thought it was shaping me into a bad person. But going through this experience has shown me just how much I can go through and still be positive and still be a light to everyone else.
Yeah. And that's important. Yeah. 100%. I'm really sorry you had to go through all this situation. That sounds absolutely horrible. But to be triggered and then to be reactive is strong, that you saw in that moment of, you're at that 10, like Jason said, you're at that 10, but you had a moment of clarity to put that knife down.
Because all I could worry about was him. I love him. I don't want to see him hurt.
And he's not being a bad guy. He's just trying to get his point across, like you were trying to do.
Right, exactly. And knowing him, I think I triggered him with the knife because I've cut myself in front of him before.
Oh, damn.
I've self-harmed before.
Yeah, so maybe he was thinking that was going to happen then. So he's not necessarily thinking about you hurting him. He's worried about you hurting you.
Exactly. That's exactly what he was worried about. He doesn't care if he gets cut. He's a man. No, men don't care about getting hurt for women, when they love them.
I'll step in front of him.
Video game.
Yeah, I'll step in front of a goddamn train for a lady. You know what I mean?
Just don't make me turn off Call of Duty, bitch.
Yeah, you get off my Call of Duty. Girl, shit. I'll Minecraft your ass. You better figure it out.
I like to say we're like old pit bulls. We're on the couch 99% of the time, but when you need us to bark, we should get up and bark,
Wait a minute. I'm not on the couch at all there, sir. Excuse me, sir.
You got a job. Sorry.
I go out and save stupid asses because they're texting and driving. You know what I mean? I'm like, they call me out. Oh, hey, we got a landslide. Oh, fuck, I'm on my way. Got my cape on.
So how did I assume the police responded? How did that go?
Yes.
What happened after that?
They took him away. Shit. He's the guy. He's a black guy.
Wait.
You're the beautiful woman. So of course they didn't take you.
Question. What's
yeah, right.
What state are no city, just what state are you in? Florida. Okay. So cops show up.
Public Access America.
It's always funny because especially because as libertarians, we get a ton of shit, even amongst other libertarians.
I think political philosophy is a lot like religion, and where there's moments you have to go on faith and trust what somebody else is saying.
The main focus is just less dependence on the government because, we've seen how that's gone.
And you don't have to do that if you think about it in a human way.
You know, more dependence on connections with each other.
You can always bring it back to what would one human do for another? What would 100 do for 100?
People looking out for people.
Find Public Access America anywhere you find your favorite podcast every Sunday and Thursday. And join the chat on YouTube at Public Access America every Sunday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Communities looking out for community.
Public Access America. History in the making, making history in the making, in the making, in the making, in the making, in the making.
Yep, cops show up. And actually, before that, I wanted to say, when I called 911, the dispatcher was the one who calmed me down. The dispatcher got me from that 10 hysterical, I just wanted to stop. He was just like you guys are talking to me right now. He was empathetic. He was telling me how much he related to me. He said, it's okay. Just listen to my voice. He did his job flawlessly. So by the time the cops showed up, I'm just outside, just waiting. That's all I'm doing. I don't know what's going to happen. But when I started talking to them, they didn't look happy. The guy on the dispatch line said they just woke up and they're just on duty or whatever. And I was like, okay, these guys look like assholes, so I might go to jail today.
Right. Welcome to Florida.
Exactly. And it sucks too, because this was the first time I've looked at cops and knew I was going to go to jail. Usually the cops here are really, really nice, and they're very trained, and they can tell what a domestic violence situation is, what a mental breakdown looks like. They can tell all that stuff usually. But today, these cops they listen to me, running my mouth, mile a minute, trying to tell them what happened. And I think they either thought I was lying or they just didn't care, because they just went in, they cut me off, didn't even get to tell them about the knife. They just cut me off. They go talk to him, and he tells them the truth, the 100% honest to God.
That he was attacking you and coming at you the entire time, and you just were trying to get away from it.
He was telling his truth.
Until he cornered you, and then you called the police for protection. That's the truth he told?
No, he told his truth.
No, his truth.
And it coincided with the story enough, and they probably weren't even listening to us. They were probably like, oh, but it coincided with my story enough for the cops to come out. They said, hey, he's allowed to be in his room if you cohabitate with him in the room. And because I said he did share the room with me because his stuff is in here, but he doesn't even sleep in here most of the time.
Right.
So I said yes. I'm not even in my right mind saying yes. And they were like, well, it's not a crime for him to enter his own room. You can't keep him out of your room. And of course, hindsight me is like, I wasn't trying to keep him out the room. I was trying to keep him away from me. But the person that was there that day, that was just calming down from all that, was basically like, okay.
Yeah.
And then,
how do we get out of this conversation so I can go back in my room and close the door?
So I was just like, okay, I understand. And they were like, it's not okay for you to put your hands on him. I was like, yes, I understand that. And I'm sorry, but I was really scared. And they asked me, ma'am, do you understand that it's a crime to make a false police report? That was the moment I knew I was going to jail. The minute they started talking about a crime, I was like, these guys are going to arrest me.
Wow.
So they told me about the scratch. He was like, are you aware he had scratches on his neck? I was like, no. And they were like, he has scratches on his neck. Put your hands out. They photographed my hands. I put my hands out. They photographed. Then all of a sudden I'm being read my rights. And I'm like, shit.
Oh.
I didn't want it to I did not want it to come down to this, because that day was the day I was trying to prevent for the last 2 years.
God damn it. Damn it.
Yeah. Do they have to take somebody when they're on a call?
No, okay. we've had prior to, calls, and they've left us alone before. But it does require, if they open a felony case on you, they have to report it to DCF, which they did.
Yep.
And I also believe my boyfriend mentioned me holding my daughter or something, and that's also why. because if anything happens in front of them, they'll notify DCF, which I don't have a problem with because I do want kids to be safe. That's okay with me. If they had just left and filed a report on me, I would have been cool with that. Like, I don't have anything to hide. I'm a really good mom. I take my kids to the doctor. The doctor's always like, keep doing what you're doing. You know, DCF can come to my house all day long and come out unannounced, whatever. I smoke weed, but it's medical, so it doesn't matter. So I don't do anything illegal, and I don't care. But if you're opening a misdemeanor and a felony case on someone who has no priors automatically, and the probable cause is a tiny scratch that, from his words, that he told my mom could have came from Liberty. I said her name, sorry, but it's okay. I don't mind that. But yeah, could have came from my daughter. So we don't even know if it came from me. You know, they just assumed because it was around his neck area. And it was crazy. Like, that small little scratch is what sent me to jail. I feel like if we had
the police discretion decided that, sounds like, took you to jail. Like, they were tired of the situation. They wanted to go back to wherever they wanted to go, and they just took somebody with them, you know?
Mm-hmm. And they wanted to kill some time by going all the way like 3 or 4 cities over to take me to prison, that I could have been taken to a precinct, but they wanted to take me to the prison there.
Okay.
God damn it.
So you were
they billed me for that. They gave me a bill for that.
For the transportation?
Wow. Yes.
Oh my God. Just wow.
Mm-hmm.
Any other ways that they took money from the poor? Did they make you pay for your own cavity searches and stuff?
I'm sure I pay for that with my tax dollars.
I pay for that randomly, but that's beside the point.
So they booked you. You went to jail, right?
They booked, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then how do you get out of there? Did your boyfriend come and bail you out?
No. They took my number so I couldn't call anybody. And I'm not saying they took it on purpose. They said that they accidentally threw out all my stuff in my cell, and that had my numbers in it. And I don't know how you accidentally do that when you call somebody for visitation, but honestly, I don't care. I was just trying to not make any trouble. So I had to stay there for the whole day I got booked. And then at 1:00, I had my first appearance. And the judge, I already talked about it, but the judge was basically looking at the case. Didn't even take him 2 seconds. He's like, this could have gone either way. So I'm going to let you know right now, I'm going to release you for pretrial release. And then that's when I had to ask him about the no contact order and everything, which the reason why I even knew to do that was because I was talking to the women in jail, and there were so many of them that were there for the stupidest reasons. And it was crazy. But the ones that were there like on a repeat regular basis, because they were just there, they were the ones that told me to ask for the judge to not do a no contact order. And that's probably why I'm here and I have my job, because of those ladies, those wonderful ladies who, even though I'm getting released in a day, they're going to be staying for months or whatever, they still helps me. And I was like, I didn't know I could meet such good people in prison.
That's cool, right? That's another thing people need to know. It's like, there is good people out there, and they're just getting thrown in jail just so that somebody can make a profit off of having somebody in jail. But
that's all it is.
People with a record, they're not bad people. There's a certain percentage of them that I'm sure are, but even those people deserve a chance to become a better person. You know, like, you seem like a great person. You spent time in jail. You know what I mean? I've spent time in jail. I'm not a bad person. It's just things happen in life. But so you got to go home.
Yeah. I mean,
I know there was a moment where somebody told you had to leave again, right? That's what we're trying to.
Yeah. So they didn't release me until 11:00 that night, which that's cool because I'm a lady and this is like a whole strange city. But thanks for letting me out.
Right.
So we won't mention your boyfriend's name, but we'll call him Squid Games. Did Squid Games come pick you up?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to call him. Remember?
Oh, but with the no contact, you couldn't.
Oh no, that doesn't matter. DCF, they'll tell you not to contact them at all.
Damn.
Otherwise, you lose your kids.
Damn.
I'm not risking that. He's not risking that. So we literally haven't had any contact at all. And I have his socials, and I haven't message him, nothing, because I refuse to risk my kids, because I'm not the type of person that's dependent on a man. I'm okay right now. I don't need to talk to him. And we both have an understanding. We have a mutual understanding that we have each other's backs.
Right.
So, you know, I don't, he didn't pick me up, but it's because he couldn't. And then also I didn't have any numbers anyway. They took my numbers. So I ended up having to take my almost dead phone and download Uber and take an Uber home with a cab driver who was entirely too tired because he was driving all over the road. And it was like $60, which is literally the same bill that I got from the cops.
Wow.
So it's like $120 just to go to jail. Cool.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Man.
But you got to go home.
I got to go home, and that was the important part. And I had
and he's
fun.
not there.
And he's not there. Yeah, I have a break. Break finally, and I'm just, you know, having a good old time celebrating. I made a little TikTok. Hi, I'm still in my house, because they were really trying to kick me out because they said I had a no contact order, and I said no. I specifically asked the judge if I could go home. He wouldn't have said that if I had a no contact order. The thing that I signed when I was released from prison looked like one, but it was a bond. It's a bond or something like that. And I had to download it myself and give it to DCF. I thought the state worked together, but I guess I was wrong. I mean,
no, that requires you paying a lot of money.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously, I'm not paying enough taxes for them to actually do their job fully, but
horrible.
It sounds like you're enjoying your break, right? Like
I when I get lonely or when I feel like uncertain, because there will be times where I get paranoid and I'm like, are they going to take my kids? I call his mom, or I text his mom, and she shows me pictures of the kids. So that's okay. And then so many people have been supportive, even online. There's a lot of people that have reached out to me already so far that I've been making friends with, and you know, just having the opportunity after 5 years. That's the last time I've gotten a break. 5 years of being a mom. And it's like my brain is exploding with all these words and ideas and motivations. And like, I've always been the person that says things aren't fair, but I've never been the person to do anything about it. And I'm ready to be that person just after experiencing so much and hearing so many stories. Because even before I went to jail, when I was homeless, I walked behind a building to go find shelter, and I found a homeless veteran behind the building, and he was shooting up drugs. So I got scared at first because I didn't know he was back there. But then I was like saying, you know, can I just stay here for a little bit? I don't have anywhere to go. And he said, okay. So I was just, you know, there, and we were talking, and he was telling me about all these problems, these mental problems he had, and his whole family turning on him and just leaving him to die. And it just, his story still is stuck with me, because I'm like, what happened to him? And how many people who are in his shoes are stuck in this situation, in this state? And I don't even know if it's just like, I have only lived in like Florida my whole adult life. So I don't know if this is our state or if it's just this country that's just failing our veterans so badly.
It's the country.
Yeah, it's the country.
Because I'm on the West Coast, and I have zero sympathy for the homeless at all costs because of what I had to do working for who I work for and cleaning up after them, seeing them get all these free things, free phones, free drugs, free clothing, and tossed, you know, to the side. And then there's a small percentage that still has my heart, you know, and it's those veterans, and see them failed, see them shooting up, see them drunk, see them hammered, see them wasted. And who's protecting them when we sent them off to war?
No one.
Exactly.
My dad was a veteran, and nobody cared about my dad. My dad had the biggest heart, would give anybody off the shirt off his back. But when he got sick, it was like he didn't even matter, because he didn't have insurance. He just had VA health care. And that's why I feel like he died of COVID, because he just didn't have quality care.
Yeah. And it's a shame too, especially like if a young veteran, I don't want to say veteran, he's there at this point, they're enlistment, right? Is that what the proper term, enlisted? Mm-hmm. If they're enlisted in the Army and they're like, oh, this isn't going to work for me because my mental health is going to be affected, and they go AWOL, they go to prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Suddenly they care. Suddenly the world cares.
Mm-hmm.
But now that they're out, and then they're out 10, 20, 30 years, nobody cares about these guys.
No.
And it is so sad to see it. The veterans, especially, man. I mean, it sucks. It sucks so bad. And for you to hear that, I mean, that must have hit home, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn. Well, I'll tell you what, you're a strong lady to deal with all this. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we have to be like, there's people that have to be like me because we need to go through these experiences to stand up for the ones that don't have the voice.
100%.
I would have never gone to jail if I was just, happy and I had money and stuff, and I had the resources I needed to get out when I wanted to get out. I would have never gone through this. I would have just lived my life normally and just found another guy and if I didn't like that guy, I'd move on to somebody I did like, But because of the lack of resources for mental health, the lack of resources for healthcare, period, it's like I want to leave, but I'm not strong enough because I'm just every year I feel like I'm deteriorating more. My mental state, my physical state, everything just gets worse. And then you try to get out, you fight so hard, and then you end up spending all your energy before you even get a chance to spend it on yourself.
Yeah. Oh, my heart goes out to you, lady. I'm telling you that right now. I mean, it's so difficult. I mean, and like Jason said at the beginning of the podcast, like my podcast focuses on mental health a lot because there's a lot that people don't understand. There's a lot of people who don't know what to do. Like you're saying, they don't know how do I treat not one, not two, but multiple issues. You know what I mean? There's no way. There's no resources. You specialize in one guy. For example, one guy will treat for PTSD, and then a lady will treat for sexual assault. But then the compounding sexual assaults, and then the compounding PTSDs, then the triggers, and then next thing you know, you got all these hands in the cookie jar, and then there's only one cookie left, and that person is like, I don't have anything else to give. Oh, no more help. Sorry. You know what I mean? And that's so unfortunate. And
we just don't. We don't teach coping skills. Like we don't teach nutrition. We don't teach these things that.
And all nutrition is so important. And I wish so bad that somebody would have explained that to me, because I've spent my whole life overweight and unhealthy, and that's why I'm diabetic. I got diagnosed at like 23. So I spent my whole life eating just trash, just canned food. And my mom still lives like this, by the way. She spends her time couponing on all this cheap garbage to eat, and then she feels bad, and my brother feels bad, and she doesn't get it though, because in her generation, food is food. You can't waste anything.
Right.
So
yeah.
We all have a lot to learn, but it sounds like you're going to be at a good place, and it sounds like the guy you have a situation with is a good person that's going to be a friend,
supportive.
He's going to be a friend. He's going to be in your life the rest of your life. So
it'll work out.
You're just going to get mad at people from time to time, like
I guess.
And it's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm black. I'm sorry, I'm an angry black woman.
That's what I mean,
do not apologize. What's wrong with you?
I kind of feel like that was the point of this whole story, was that it's because she was an angry black woman.
Oh man, that is, I laugh because I hear about it all the time, and I don't see why it should be an issue. Who cares? If I mean, I'm not saying I don't care if you're black, or I'm just saying I don't care if you're black and angry. Why not be black and angry if you need to be?
If you're black, if you're black and poor, you should be black and angry. But black and poor and angry puts you in jail.
Proud. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's the justice system.
Yep.
But as it is right now,
should not
in Florida.
They shouldn't be looking down on you, lady. I'm telling you this right now. You stand up proud.
Stand up proud. After that jail experience, that was my biggest fear, by the way, going to jail as a black woman. That was scary because I didn't want that stigma attached to me. But now there's nothing that can embarrass me anymore. The ultimate embarrassment already happened to me, so I'm good now. I'm free.
So now what happens now? I mean, what's going to happen now? Are you going to? You're going to court. You're going to fight for your kids. You're going to speak with. Should we change his name from Squid Games to? Let's just go with Henry.
Henry. I've been calling him Dude, but yeah.
Dude, okay, let's go with Dude. So you and Dude are going to have a conversation after the court hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And this court hearing is to get your children back.
No, this court hearing is just for the charges. My kids are not in any danger of getting taken away. They're
good.
Yes, they're with their grandmother and my partner, and they are having the time of their lives, and they're going on the schedule that I've wanted them to be on for like a year. Like they're sleeping now, so it's like win-win.
Right.
And also, he doesn't get to play video games with his mom.
Oh, this is a triple win. Okay, all right. So if he just could have listened to you in the beginning, all of this could have been solved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So okay, so this is the hearing for the charges. So now that's going to happen relatively soon.
The charges, the court date is February 22nd of 2022. Oh. So 2/22/22.
Here's what I want to ask you for to end the show with before we get all your information. What would you say to your partner? You can't talk to him right now. What would you say to him right now?
I would say that I love him. I'm always going to love him. He's a good father. His heart is in the right place, but he really needs to get his own help because I do know he has his own issues. So I hope that this experience was eye-opening enough to realize that you need some change. Something needs to change, and there's nothing wrong with you, but we all have our issues that we need to deal with, and we can't just avoid them forever.
Damn.
I have issues too, buddy. So you're not alone. We all have issues, and we're all trying to take care of them. But this lady seems like a great person to do it for, and if not, you got 2 great kids with her, and that's 3 great reasons to be a great person.
Step up or step out, because there's always going to be another man who's ready to get up in there.
Oh, I'm very popular. I even when I walk around in Walmart, people just notice me, so I won't have a problem getting another person.
Get some. Love it. I love the
and that's what she's doing
great.
When you're on the video games. She's just going to go out and look for another guy because the pandemic is ending and we are getting back out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for being here. Did you want people to find you on Twitter?
I do. Okay. I do, because I just feel like the more prayers I have, the better I feel. So if you want, do you want me to say what my handle is, or?
Yeah, why not?
That's on you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on autonomous angel. It's one word, obviously, because it's Twitter. And I'm just, trying to spread positivity in my time of darkness because it makes me feel good. So anything where I could help anyone, even if you guys do another podcast, like just let me know if you need any help with anything, because I'm very good with words and I know a lot of stuff. So
I'm sorry. Welcome to the family. I should have said that originally. We collect perspectives, so you are always welcome. Definitely.
Okay. Yep. Great. Thank you.
We can't come up with solutions without a bunch of people.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what a lot of people, they don't realize, that it's not about an individual standing up. It's about us as a whole collective standing up. But
say it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what our society teaches us. Our society teaches us to be selfish so we don't help each other.
Right. 100%. That's right. And it doesn't work. A country like that doesn't work.
No.
I'm loving America. I don't know. I woke up 2 days ago and I was like, I'm tired of being negative. I'm just going to be positive. Joe Biden, you rock. When you're awake, you rock.
He is so good. That man is so good with words. He's the reason why I named my daughter Liberty.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can never understand.
But then he needs his medication. But that's when I'm just like, okay.
So your other child's name is Malarkey.
Every time he's talking, I don't know whether I should start eating crayons or wait. I just don't know. God God dang
We
it.
definitely
Well,
could have
look,
had better. Definitely.
yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. I don't think that I think that he came in a little bit too late for what he's trying to do. And I believe that he is tarnishing Kamala Harris at the same time. And it's just sad. It's sad because there's a right place for it. And I think that she could have made a huge difference. He could have made a huge difference. And it's just sad to see how they're just tearing him up, both of them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Sucks. But you know what? And I want to applaud you for being strong. I want,
Definitely.
I'm very happy that you're proud that that you are able to speak up when you can, and thank you for sharing your story with us, because it's powerful.
Thank you. And that's the goal.
There's always somewhere to get relief. There's always somewhere to get help, but in the moment, it's really hard to find. So if you find Autonomous Angel on Twitter, maybe that's somebody that when you're having a time and you need to get away from your partner, you can go on Twitter and reach out to somebody, and maybe there'll be somebody there that understands,
Yeah.
100%.
You got to do.
If there's anyone out there who's going through this kind of situation, I want them to reach out to me, because I do have the advice. I've been working on my self-care for a year now. So I've got a year of experience of just spiritual stuff, astrology, all that stuff helps you. It makes you believe in something bigger than just yourself.
I love that.
It's something we do on my podcast is we do a spiritual conference where I have my sister in Ohio. I have my brother in up here in Seattle. I have my brother Tony in California, and my cousin Jesse from he's from the Chehalis tribe, and we get all these collective of different spiritual leaders, I want to call them, from the different collectives, and we all get together. And it sounds like you should come on and talk.
Yes, I would love that. I would love that so much. You don't even know.
Next, I think it's coming up. It's probably within the next month or two. I think we do it after my birthday in February. And
wait, when's your birthday?
It's mid-February.
So you're an Aquarius?
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah. My birthday is on the 3rd, so I'm an Aquarius too.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, I'm on the 15th, so
I'm on the 11th.
Of February?
Yeah.
No wonder we vibed. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Aqua energy.
Yeah, we got a whole podcast. We should rename it The Age of Aquarius and just go for
it.
I love it, because we are in that age. And I think my generation of my kids, I think they're all they got a lot of Aquarius in them, and a lot of people were saying they were like frightened because they're like, oh my God, all these kids are gonna be psychotic.
It's not psychotic, it's a high energy is what it is.
Yeah.
Smart and empathetic, that's all.
Yeah. So when we have that podcast, you know what, I'll shoot you a Twitter message or something, and then or have Jason reach out to you, and you're invited. Come on out, let's get loose, let's get talking, let's get grounded, because I mean, I think that's something that people lack is an understanding. Now I don't necessarily believe in God, but I do believe in spirituality. So I mean, and there's a huge difference, and I believe that with that connection with everybody, it's so important that we got to stop seeing government and then us. We got to start seeing us,
right?
Period.
Yeah.
I think there's some woman that's scared and frightened, locked in her room because her man is a little meaner than the one you have. And she doesn't, and she feels alone. And I just wanted to let her know, Luna,
you're not alone.
Luna's out there. I'm calling you Luna because that's your Twitter tag.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that I've been Luna for, I don't know, like 12, 15 years online, and
cool.
Even though like my Autonomous Angel tag, I use it for everything now, but I couldn't bring myself to change my Twitter name. I don't know, there's just something about I like being Luna.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm not outing you by using that name. Okay.
No.
Cool.
Perfect. We do value privacy. Jason is really good about privacy, really good about taking care of people.
Yes.
There's creepy people out there, men and women,
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. We're going to see you next time. And thank you for listening to Public Access America.
Yes.
And Adam has a beard, one or the other. Yay.
Thank you guys. You have a wonderful night. It was great talking to you both, and nice to meet you.
Come back. Talk to us again.
I will. Bye.
To those who would tear the world down, we will defeat you. This is our moment. This is our time. To those who seek peace and security, we support you. Yes, we can. And to all those who have wondered if America's beacon still burns as bright, tonight we prove once more that the true strength of our nation comes not from the might of our arms or the scale of our wealth, but from the enduring power of our ideals, democracy, liberty, opportunity, and unyielding hope.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbow. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
Ask not.
Yes, we can.
What your country can do for you.
I have a dream.
Ask what you can do for your country.
My poor little children.
Yes, we can.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression.
In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
That's how winning is done.
Welcome to Public Access America.
Yes, we can.
Sunday live streams on YouTube.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel for my dad.
On Twitter.
What?
Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Smart Radio Public, and Spotify.
Yes, we can.
Public Access America. History in the making. Making history in the making.